A lot of people like to compare the GTA franchise to the Mafia franchise, or people that say, man, I would love to know what it feels like to play GTA back in the old times or the Prohibition era, and I can see that. Mafia has been up and down throughout the years, but it's never really fallen out of the public eye per se. The series is often seen, let's be real, as a GTA ripoff. But the first game actually did a really good job distinguishing itself from Rockstar's open world games, and in this video, we're going to talk about Mafia 4. That's right, early leaks, early reports of Mafia 4, and yes, Mafia 5, because apparently 2K Games and the new developer Hangar 13 have big plans to revive this IP. They want to bring it to the next generation of open world gaming, and yes, compete with GTA and GTA 6. So you let me know in the comments what your favorite Mafia game is, if you've ever experienced the franchise at all, and if you have, are you ready for this franchise to make a comeback? Drop a like and let's get into it. The original Mafia game launched all the way back in 2002. It was actually a PC exclusive before being ported to the PS2 and the Xbox a couple years later. It was set in a fictional city in Illinois set in the 1930s. The story follows a taxi driver turned mobster as he tries to dig through the criminal underworld, learn more about the infamous crime family, and the story was extremely well presented. The gameplay was pretty innovative for its time. It featured a lot of driving, on-foot shooting, as well as one of the earliest examples of fully 3D open world experiences. It even had a wanted system based on minor and major offenses committed while playing the game. Sounds familiar, I know. The map was also pretty big. Boasts 4.6 square miles of playable area. Now that's not big by today's standards, but remember, this was in 2002, back when fully 3D open world games were brand new. Mafia 1 was a very innovative game. It's kind of a shame that it so often gets remembered as another GTA 3 ripoff because it was actually way more than that. Then we get the sequel, Mafia 2. It was in development for quite some time, finally hit the market in August of 2010, roughly 8 years later after the original game. And if you were into video games around that time, you probably remember that massive marketing push that 2K Games put behind it. This was roughly 2 years after launch of GTA 4, so HD open world crime games were the rage, and 2K really wanted Mafia 2 to stand out, which it did. It was a good game by most accounts. It managed to take the formula of that first game while also incorporating tons of new aspects inspired to the GTA series without actually feeling like a direct GTA ripoff like so many other open world games were at that time. Mafia 2 reviewed well, it sold well, but the franchise started going downhill. Mafia 3 launched in 2016, lower reviewer scores, abundance of technical issues, and heavily streamlined gameplay that made it feel pretty generic and safe compared to the previous entries. Now, the story had potential, and there were definitely some solid characters, but overall, Mafia 3 took a step backwards, and there hasn't been a new one since. Now, things for the Mafia franchise started looking up briefly in 2020 with the definitive edition re-releases of all three games. Those included a full remake of Mafia 1 and a heavy remaster of Mafia 2. That helped bring them into the modern era. It really showed off the ideas, and honestly, the definitive edition of Mafia 1 is still one of the best open world games on the market to this day, if you ask me, and the success of the re-releases helped push 2K Games to greenlight some new projects that have recently leaked. We're going to go over those leaks. Before we do, if you get anything from G2A.com, consider using code CHAOS to get yourself some cash back, whether it be new PC games, Steam codes, whatever it is. The link is at the top of the description. Now, as of the recording of this video, we have insider information on 2 unfinished Mafia games, presumably Mafia 4 and 5. Over the last year or so, a number of Mafia 4 details have leaked via prominent industry insiders, so I need you to keep in mind, this is all subject to change and none of it's 100% confirmed, but we're going to go over everything we know and think about the next Mafia game. Reports have claimed that Mafia 4 is indeed in development. Work is being handled by the studio Hangar 13, who took over the franchise in 2014. They were responsible for Mafia 3 and the remake of Mafia 1. So far, the main consensus is that Mafia 4 will be a prequel to the original trilogy, and it's going to focus on characters that we met that first game, albeit younger and at much different stages in their lives, which I think is pretty smart. The most recent reports state the game is internally codenamed Nero, and according to Nick Baker of the Xbox Era podcast, the story will take place between the late 19th century and the early 20th century and focus on Don himself from the original game, while also touching on the stories of various franchise characters in this massive prequel adventure that lays the foundation for the original game. Now, Kotaku published a report in May of 2022, and they claim the game was in very early development. So it's not likely we're actually going to get our hands on Mafia 4 until probably 2024 at the absolute earliest, which means it's likely it's going to be an exclusive to the 9th generation consoles and PC. So all of you PS4 and Xbox One players, don't hold out hope that you're going to get Mafia 4. Gameplay details are largely unknown, but it's safe to assume that it will follow in the previous game's footsteps with a detailed open world and lots of cool cars to drive and crazy shootouts. Basically GTA, but rewind 80 years. Now, interestingly, elements of Mafia 5 have actually leaked, despite us not even having a trailer for Mafia 4. This doesn't happen very often, but a few weeks ago, a job listing was discovered on Hangar 13's website in which the company was looking for a top-tier executive producer to own the development of a key franchise at Hangar 13. Now, the job listing also stated the new employee would play a vital part in the successful delivery of a major new title, including post-launch content and future franchise planning. The franchise in question was never confirmed, but the new job listing actually tied in with insider reports from last year that claimed that Hangar 13 was working on 2 games at once, and while one of them was almost certainly Mafia 4, the other one remained unknown until recently. According to those insiders, Hangar 13 is looking to get work done on both Mafia 4 and 5 at the same time. That way the games don't release too far apart from each other, which I'm okay with. I mean, Mafia 4 comes out 2024, Mafia 5 comes out 2025. I would be okay with that because that never happens anymore. I mean, trilogies, sequels, we're talking years apart. Look at GTA 5 to GTA 6. It makes sense given the fact that game development takes a long time and each Mafia game has a pretty lengthy development cycle up to this point. The job listing also makes it clear the new hire is going to be working on multiple installments in the franchise in question. So if we're correct, which I think we are, about the game being Mafia 4, the listing also seems to pretty explicitly confirm Mafia 5. So let's reiterate. Mafia 4, likely still another 2 years out at the very earliest. Mafia 5, probably 2 to 3 years, maybe 4. But if you're a fan of the franchise, you've got stuff to look forward to. This series has a special place in the hearts of a lot of gamers, and despite how oversaturated the open world marketplace is right now, I'm excited for this one. Something set in the late 19th century or early 20th century. I mean, if you're a fan, if you've ever watched Peaky Blinders, that's the vibe. Get that vibe going, and you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've never played it, go play the Mafia 1 remastered. Just, I promise you, it's old school GTA. It's really, really cool. So I'm excited. That's a fascinating time period to set in an open world video game, and if it means we get to learn more about the Mafia universe, I am absolutely 100% down for it. So, if we get any new news on Mafia 4 or 5, I will keep you guys updated. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.